What if I told you that living in 200 square feet could either save you $50,000 a year or become the most expensive mistake of your life? I spent 6 months investigating the tiny home movement, visiting 30-plus tiny homes, interviewing owners, and uncovering the truth nobody talks about. Some people are thriving. Others are stuck in financial and legal nightmares. The reality I discovered at minute 12 will either convince you to go tiny or save you from disaster. Before we dive into the tiny living reality, if you're considering downsizing, curious about alternative housing, or just tired of massive rent, hit that subscribe button and smash the bell. I'm breaking down real costs, legal nightmares, actual owner experiences, and whether tiny homes are brilliant or a trap. The shocking truth at minute 13 changes everything. Let's get into it. The tiny home movement has exploded. Instagram shows you the dream, minimalist perfection, financial freedom, adventurous living. But behind those beautiful photos is a complex reality. The tiny home landscape. Homes typically 100 to 400 square feet, on wheels, mobile, or on foundations, permanent. Costs: $10,000 DIY to $150,000 plus custom builds. Legal status: complicated and location dependent. Ownership satisfaction: wildly mixed. Here's what nobody tells you. For every person who found freedom in tiny living, there's someone who spent $80,000 and can't legally park anywhere. For every minimalist success story, there's a family crammed into 200 square feet regretting everything. The questions we'll answer: what does it actually cost, hidden expenses included? Where can you legally put one? What's daily life really like? Who thrives and who struggles? Is it worth it financially and emotionally? By the end, you'll know if tiny living is your path to freedom or a beautiful trap. Let's start with the money, because the numbers will shock you. The tiny home marketing says affordable housing. The reality is way more complex. Building costs: DIY build, $10,000 to $40,000. Materials: $15,000 to $30,000. Trailer, if mobile, $5,000 to $8,000. Tools/equipment rental, $2,000 to $5,000. Permits/fees, $500 to $3,000. Time investment, 800 to 1,500 hours. Mistakes and redose, $2,000 to $5,000. Almost guaranteed. Reality check: most DIY builders underestimate by 50%. That $20,000 tiny home becomes $35,000 plus easily. Shell kit, $25,000 to $50,000. Pre-build exterior frame. You finish interior. Cuts labor time in half. Still requires significant skill. Additional materials: $10,000 to $20,000. Total: $35,000 to $70,000. Professional build: $50,000 to $150,000 plus. Turnkey, move-in ready. Quality construction. Custom features. Warranty included. Most common: $70,000 to $90,000. But wait, the hidden costs. Land/parking, $0 to $50,000 plus. Buying land, $15,000 to $100,000 plus, varies wildly. RV park monthly, $300 to $800 per month. Private land rental, $200 to $600 per month. Tiny home community lot, $400 to $1,000 per month. Utilities and infrastructure. Utility hookups, if not existing, $5,000 to $20,000. Septic system, $3,000 to $10,000. Well drilling, $5,000 to $15,000. Solar setup, off-grid, $8,000 to $25,000. Propane system, $1,500 to $3,000. Appliances, specialty tiny home. Composting toilet, $1,000 to $2,500. Tiny fridge, $500 to $1,200. Two-burner stove, $200 to $600. Combo washer/dryer, $1,500 to $2,500. Water heater, $500 to $1,500. The real cost example. Affordable $60,000 tiny home. Home purchase, $60,000. Trailer, if not included, $6,000. Land/lot rental, 1 year, $6,000. Utility hookup, $8,000. Appliances, $6,000. Permits/legal fees, $2,000. Furnishing, $3,000. Moving/setup, $2,000. Year 1 total, $93,000. Compared to traditional housing. Option 1. Rent an apartment. $1,200 per month, x 12 equals $14,400 per year. After 6.5 years, you've spent $93,600. But can move easily, no legal hassles, more space. Option 2. Buy tiny home. $93,000 upfront. Then $400 to $800 per month ongoing. Lot, utilities. Stuck with resale challenges. Legal complications. The honest math. Tiny homes are cheaper than buying a traditional house, but rarely cheaper than renting unless you own land free and clear. This is where the dream crashes into reality. Let's talk about where you can actually put a tiny home. The zoning problem. Tiny homes on wheels. THOW. Classification confusion. Too big to be RVs, most states. Too small to be houses. Minimum square footage laws. Exist in legal gray area. Different rules in every jurisdiction. Where you can't park. Most residential neighborhoods. Zoning violations. Most city limits. Minimum dwelling size requirements. Many counties. Health department restrictions. Your own property. Often illegal, even on land you own. Where you might park. RV parks. But many reject tiny homes. Tiny home communities. Limited availability. Agricultural land. Sometimes. Varies by state. Private property, with owner permission. Risky. The stories. Case study 1. Sarah, Portland. Built $75,000 tiny home. Couldn't find legal parking in city. Moved to RV park. $650 per month. Park changed rules, had to leave. Spent 8 months searching for legal spot. Finally sold at $20,000 loss. Case study 2, Mike, Texas. Parked on family's rural land. County issued violation notice. $500 per day, fine started. Had to move within 30 days. Legal fees, $8,000. Now an expensive RV park. Tiny homes on foundations. Permanent foundation equals regular house rules. Must meet minimum square footage, often 600 to 1,000 square feet. Building codes and inspections. Property taxes. Can't legally build tiny in most areas. The state-by-state reality. Most friendly. California, some areas. Oregon, progressive zoning. Colorado, tiny home communities. Texas, rural areas. Florida, some counties. Least friendly. Northeast states generally. Most major metro areas. Anywhere with strict zoning. Tiny home communities. The solution that works. Legal, dedicated tiny home parks. Shared amenities. Like-minded neighbors. Utilities included often. The downsides. Lot rent. $400 to $1,000 per month. Limited locations. Long wait lists. Some 2+ years. Community rules and restrictions. You're still paying rent. Legal costs. If you fight zoning. Legal consultation. $2,000 to $5,000. Court costs. $5,000 to $20,000 plus. Fines while fighting. $500 to $1,000 per week. Outcome. Usually lose. The advice. Before buying/building. Research local zoning laws exhaustively. Get everything in writing from authorities. Secure legal parking first. Have a backup plan. Budget for potential legal issues. I talked to one tiny homeowner who said, I spent $60,000 on my dream home. I've spent the last year trying to find somewhere to legally put it. I'm about to give up and sell at a massive loss. Let's talk about what living in 200 square feet actually feels like. The morning routine. In a 200 square feet tiny home. Wake up in loft, climbing down ladder. Can't stand up fully in loft, 4 to 5 feet headroom. Tiny bathroom, combo shower/toilet often. Micro kitchen, breakfast for one max. Getting ready requires coordination, if sharing. Time, 60 to 90 minutes for routines that took 30 minutes. Storage, the constant battle. The reality. Every possession needs a designated spot. A place for everything isn't cute, it's survival. Buy something new, something old must go. No spontaneous purchases. Seasonal clothes must be swapped. Store summer when winter comes. Hobbies with equipment? Forget it. One owner told me, I love photography. I had to sell most of my camera gear because there's no room. My hobby became a casualty of tiny living. Cooking. The setup. 2-burner cooktop, sometimes one. Apartment-size fridge or mini. Minimal counter space. No dishwasher. Limited storage for ingredients. The reality. Meal prep requires strategy. Cooking for guests. Nearly impossible. Thanksgiving dinner. Go to someone else's house. You become an expert at one-pot meals. Bathroom situations. Composting toilets. Eco-friendly. No water needed. Separate solid/liquid waste. Requires emptying every 3 to 6 weeks. Not as gross as you'd think, but definitely an adjustment. Shower. Usually 30 inches by 30 inches, cramped. Sometimes combined with toilet, wet bath. Low water pressure often. Quick showers become necessity. Climate control. The challenge. Tiny space equals quick temperature changes. Summer. Heats up fast, even with AC. Winter. Loses heat quickly. Poor insulation in mini builds. Mini split AC works well, but pricey. Relationships and personal space. Solo living. Can work great. Cozy, not claustrophobic. Everything within reach. Perfect for minimalists. Couple living. Requires exceptional communication. Zero personal space. Arguments have nowhere to go. Bathroom privacy is gone. Working from home. Both of you. Nightmare. Quote from couple. We love each other more than ever, but we schedule time apart because we have to. There's no such thing as alone time in 180 square feet. With kids. Under 5 years old. Doable but challenging. Over 5. Very difficult. Teenagers. Basically impossible. Homework. Privacy. Friends over. All problematic. Social life. Entertaining. Can't host dinner parties. Maybe 2 to 3 guests max. Your social life moves outdoors. Coffee shops become your living room. Libraries. Parks equals extended space. Weather dependency. You need to spend time outside. Rain/cold week. Cabin fever is real. Your home is just for sleeping/basic functions. This only works if you like being out. The honest assessment. Who thrives? Extreme minimalists. Outdoorsy people. Barely home anyway. Single people or very compatible couples. Those who work outside the home. People with access to shared spaces. Who struggles? Families with kids over 5. Couples who need personal space. Anyone with space-intensive hobbies. Those who work from home. People in harsh climates. Let's do the actual math on whether tiny living saves money. Scenario 1. Success story. Sarah owns land, built DIY. Land, inherited $0. DIY build, $28,000. Utility hookup, $6,000. Solar panels, $12,000. Total upfront, $46,000. Monthly expenses, no rent/mortgage, $0. Utilities, minimal $50. Propane, $40. Internet, $60. Property tax, $100. Insurance, $80. Maintenance, $100. Monthly, $430. Compared to her previous apartment. Rent, $1,400 per month. Utilities, $150. Previous monthly, $1,550. Savings, $1,120 per month equals $13,440 per year payback period. 3.4 years after 5 years. Saves $67,200. Scenario 2. Reality check. Mark, no land, professional build. Professional build, $85,000. Land purchase, $35,000. Site prep, $15,000. Septic/well, $18,000. Total upfront, $153,000. Monthly expenses, no rent but property tax, $200. Utilities, $100. Propane, $60. Internet, $70. Insurance, $120. Maintenance, $150. Monthly, $700. Compared to previous apartment. Rent, $1,300 per month. Utilities, $120. Previous monthly, $1,420. Savings, $720 per month equals $8,640 per year payback period. 17.7 years, not accounting for opportunity cost of $153,000 invested. Scenario 3. The disaster. Jennifer. Tiny home on wheels, no stable parking. Professional build, $75,000. Moving costs, 3 times $3,000. Legal fees, $8,000. Storage while searching, $2,400. Total invested, $88,400. Monthly expenses. RV park lot rent, $650. Utilities, $80. Insurance, $100. Maintenance, $100. Monthly, $930. Compared to apartment. Previous rent, $1,100 per month. Utilities, $110. Previous monthly, $1,210. Savings. Only $280 per month equals $3,360 per year payback period. 26.3 years plus. Legal stress, mobility limitations. The hidden costs. Depreciation. Tiny homes depreciate like RVs. 10 to 15% per year initially. After 5 years, worth 50 to 60% of build cost. Hard to resell. Limited market. Maintenance. Wheels/tires need replacing. $1,500 to $3,000. Trailer maintenance, $500 per year. Roof resealing, $500 every 3 to 5 years. Appliances fail faster, smaller, cheaper $1,000 to $3,000 replacements. The opportunity cost. If you invested $80,000 instead. Conservative 7% annual return. After 10 years, $157,000. After 20 years, $309,000. The honest conclusion. Tiny homes save money if you own land outright. You can legally park permanently. You build/buy smartly. You have minimal legal issues. You stay long-term, 10 plus years. They don't save money if you're paying lot rent similar to apartment rent. You have ongoing legal issues. You move frequently. You finance at high interest. You can't do maintenance yourself. After talking to 50-plus tiny home dwellers, here's who actually thrives versus who struggles. Perfect candidates for tiny living. 1. The intentional minimalist. Already lives with minimal possessions. Values experiences over things. Comfortable with extreme downsizing. Sees small space as freeing, not limiting. 2. The debt-free seeker. Willing to sacrifice space for financial freedom. Has clear financial goals. Disciplined saver. Values security over comfort. 3. The outdoor enthusiast. Rarely home, anyway. Lives for hiking, climbing, surfing, etc. Sees home as just a base camp. Comfortable in small spaces. Think camping. 4. The solo dweller. Single or very independent. Doesn't need personal space from others. Comfortable with own company. Minimal entertaining. 5. The landowner. Already owns property. Can legally place tiny home. Wants affordable housing on their land. Has backup housing if needed. Who should not go tiny? 1. Families with school-age kids. Kids need space to play, study, grow. Privacy is important for development. Friends coming over is crucial. Tiny living can harm family dynamics. 2. Work-from-home professionals. Need dedicated office space. Require quiet for calls/meetings. Video calls show cramped space, unprofessional. Can't separate work and home. 3. Couples who need space. Arguments need physical distance. Different schedules require separate areas. Bathroom privacy matters. Personal time is essential. 4. Hobby enthusiasts. Crafters, artists, musicians. Anyone with equipment. Collections of any kind. Need dedicated workspace. 5. Those without legal parking. Don't have family land. Can't afford tiny home community. Living in strict zoning area. Not willing to risk legal issues. 6. Anyone who hates feeling cramped. Values spaciousness. Gets claustrophobic easily. Needs room to spread out. Enjoys hosting. The test. Before committing, try this. Rent a tiny home on Airbnb for 1 week minimum. Live normally, cook, work, relax. Pay attention to day 5 to 7. Honeymoon ends. Can you see yourself doing this for years? Be brutally honest. The quote that says it all. One owner told me, tiny living either clicks immediately or it doesn't. If you're forcing it after a month, it's not for you. And that's okay. So after months of research, here's the truth about tiny homes. What the movement gets right. Challenges consumption culture. Promotes intentional living. Can provide financial freedom in right circumstances. Reduces environmental footprint. Forces priority clarification. Creates interesting communities. What gets wrong? Oversimplifies the challenges. Ignores legal complexities. Romanticizes hardship. Doesn't address long-term viability. Assumes everyone values the same things. The real success rate. Based on my research, 40% thrive long-term, 5+ years. 35% tolerate it, but wouldn't recommend. 25% quit within 2 years. The financial reality. Can save significant money, best case, $10,000 to $15,000 per year. Often saves less than expected, $3,000 to $5,000 per year more realistic. Sometimes costs more than renting. Depends entirely on individual circumstances. The lifestyle reality. Incredible for the right person. Miserable for the wrong person. No middle ground. My honest recommendation. Don't go tiny as a financial shortcut alone. The numbers often don't work as well as marketed. Do go tiny if you genuinely desire minimalism. You've tested it extensively. You have legal parking secured. You understand the trade-offs. You're excited, not just desperate. Start small. Instead of jumping into $80,000 tiny home, downsize your current space. Rent a tiny home for a month. Join tiny home communities online. Visit tiny home shows. Talk to actual owners, not just influencers. Secure legal parking first, then make the leap. The bottom line, tiny homes are neither a miracle solution nor a scam. They're a legitimate alternative housing option that works brilliantly for some people and terribly for others. The key is radical honesty with yourself about your actual needs versus Instagram fantasy. Your financial situation, real math, not hope. Your legal options, research thoroughly. Your lifestyle compatibility, test it first. For the right person in the right circumstances, tiny living can be transformative. For everyone else, it's an expensive, legally complicated way to live in a very small space. The tiny home movement represents something important. A rejection of endless consumption, a desire for financial freedom, and a search for intentional living. But between the Instagram perfection and the reality is a gap filled with legal challenges, financial complications, and lifestyle trade-offs that many people aren't prepared for. The truth. Some people have found genuine freedom. Others are stuck in beautiful traps. Most fall somewhere in between. If you go into tiny living with eyes wide open, realistic expectations, and thorough preparation, it can work. If you're escaping debt, running from problems, or chasing an Instagram aesthetic, it probably won't. Direct to camera, genuine. So here's my question for you. After hearing the real story, are you more or less interested in tiny living? What's your biggest concern or excitement? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious about your perspective. If this real talk about tiny homes was helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more honest content about alternative living, financial independence, and unconventional life choices. I've linked resources in the description, tiny home builders, legal guides by state, communities to connect with actual tiny dwellers, and financial calculators to run your own numbers. Thanks for watching. And remember, whether your dream home is 200 square feet or 2,000, make sure it's your choice for your reasons, not someone else's highlight reel. See you in the next one.